Keeping an eye on financials, the Federal Reserve's key inflation gauge released on Friday met expectations. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index rose 2.5% over a year ago, but it was down 0.1% from May. Now, it's due to supply chain improvements, a cooling of the housing market, falling prices for energy and medical services. The data provides further evidence that inflation is continuing to moderate closer to the Federal Reserve's 2% target. One analyst I spoke with says the Fed funds futures point to rates staying status quo in this week's FOMC meeting.
I think the Fed still has its game plan in place, and according to what the market thinks, what the market's showing us as far as Fed fund futures forward curve, always fun to say, we can still see that right now the market's thinking that the initial rate cut will come in at the end of the September meeting, not necessarily next week, as the July meeting comes to an end, I believe on the 31st, but pushing it back to the September and then possibly again in November. So it just seems like everything's still in place.
While the inflation trend is encouraging, the core index stayed at 2.6% when expectations were for a decline. Plus, the stronger than expected GDP growth and robust labor market may give the Fed reason to remain cautious about cutting rates too quickly.